Today, we are diving into a classic one-act play called A Sunny Morning. It is a brilliant, charming story that all happens over a single conversation, and it explores some really big ideas: memory, young love, and maybe most importantly, the stories we tell ourselves.
And that right there is the central puzzle of the whole play. It's a situation that's just packed with irony and a surprising amount of tenderness. And believe it or not, it all kicks off with a simple argument on a park bench.
All right, so picture this. It's a beautiful, sunny morning in a quiet park in Madrid. And this is where we meet our two main characters, Dona Laura and Don Gonzalo. They're both in their 70s, and, well, neither of them is in a particularly great mood.
And wow, do their personalities clash right from the get-go. On one hand, you've got Dona Laura. She's sharp, she's full of life, and she's just enjoying her daily ritual of feeding the birds. But then Don Gonzalo shows up, grumpy as can be, annoyed because some priests are sitting on his favorite bench.
Things get heated, like almost immediately. He shuffles over to her bench and scares her pigeons away, and Laura is not having it. They start arguing about who has the right to the space. He gets snippy, calls her an old lady who should be home knitting, and she fires right back, calling him an ill-natured man, and even makes fun of him when he starts wiping his dusty shoes with his handkerchief. It's this fiery, witty, and honestly kind of childish squabble. But just when you think they're going to be at each other's throats for the rest of the morning, something shifts. A tiny, almost ridiculous gesture completely changes the whole vibe and leads to this really unexpected moment of peace. The whole turning point comes from a snuff box. Don Gonzalo, maybe feeling a little bit guilty, offers Dona Laura a pinch of snuff. She takes it. And then, in perfect, hilarious unison, they both sneeze. Not once, not twice, but 3 times each. And that shared, silly moment just breaks all the tension. They laugh, and just like that, a truce is declared.
So now that the fighting's done, they actually start talking. And as they chat, they stumble upon this remarkable coincidence. They both spent their younger years in the beautiful city of Valencia.
And this is where things get really interesting. Laura mentions a specific villa there, and Don Gonzalo is totally taken aback. He tells her he remembers it well because it was the home of Laura Laurenti, who he says was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen. And the crazy part? He has absolutely no idea he's talking to her. He starts describing this woman, and she's basically a legend in his memory. They even had a nickname for her, the Silver Maiden. In his mind, she was perfect, fair as a lily, with jet black hair and these incredible black eyes. He's painting a picture of an idealized beauty, a memory totally frozen in time. You can just imagine the wheels turning in their heads. As they're sharing these little details, it clicks. They both realize who the other person is. He is that gallant lover from her youth, and she is his silver maiden. But instead of some big, tearful reunion, they both make a silent, mutual decision to just say nothing. To pretend. And what they do next is just fascinating. Instead of revealing themselves, they each invent a fictional narrator to tell their own love story. He claims the young lover was his cousin, and she says the Silver Maiden was her best friend. So they go all out. They give their younger selves these incredibly dramatic, romantic, and totally made-up endings. According to his story, his cousin fled after a duel, became a war hero in Africa, and died gloriously in a trench whispering Laura's name. And in her version, her friend waited faithfully for years, only to be tragically swept out to sea right after writing her lover's name in the sand. They are basically co-writing the perfect tragic myth. Which of course brings us to the biggest question of all: why? Why go through all this trouble to invent these elaborate lies when the actual truth is sitting right there on the bench with them? The answer, it turns out, is in what they don't say out loud. So while he's spinning this incredible yarn about his heroic cousin, we get a little peek into his actual thoughts. And the reality? Oh, it's way less glamorous. After he fled that duel, he got over his heartbreak pretty fast and ran off to Paris with a ballet dancer just 3 months later. And you know what? Dona Laura is right there with him. As she's telling this heart-wrenching story of the maiden lost to the sea, she's thinking to herself, I'm not going to tell him I'm married 2 years later. The truth is, she moved on too.
So, you see, their lie isn't about deceiving each other in a mean way. It's about preservation. They choose to work together on this beautiful fiction because it's better than shattering the perfect, idealized memory they have of their passionate, youthful romance.
And that contrast is really the whole point, isn't it? On one side, you have the memory,
This flawless, romantic image of a heroic young man and a stunningly beautiful woman. And on the other side, you have the reality. Two elderly people, a bit frail, a bit grumpy, who started their morning arguing over pigeons. By choosing the lie, they get to keep the beautiful memory alive.
And that's really what the play leaves you thinking about. They end up parting ways, promising to meet again tomorrow, both happy in their shared secret story. It really makes you wonder, which is more valuable? The perfect story we tell ourselves about the past, or the messy, complicated truth of what actually happened? It's a really interesting question to chew on.